mentioned earlier, this is a special live this evening because the tumblers that we're going to work on tonight, we're going to do a black and white ombre and a purple and white ombre. The tumblers that we're doing tonight are in honor of supporting a friend, Raven, and his family. Raven is going through his battle with pancreatic cancer, so we wanted to do our part to be able to give back because he and his wife have done so much for the community around here that we wanted to do this fundraiser. And for each of the tumblers that are sold during this fundraiser, a portion of that is going to go towards Raven's fight towards pancreatic cancer. So, you know, that's why it makes this live really special because, you know, this group, this Punkinworks group and all of the friends of Punkinworks and those who are friends of those helping with the fundraiser have a difference to get a really pretty cup. But not only that, you get the opportunity to contribute back to a family who's done so much for the community. So, you know, that's why this is so special to me. And I'm hoping that by showing the process and making these tumblers, it'll maybe inspire some others to create, but it'll also hopefully encourage you to purchase towards this fundraiser to help out this family. So again, I'm just sharing in a couple groups, and if you would do the same so we can have as many folks aware as possible, then that would be a huge help. All right, I swear I'm part of like a ton of groups, and as I'm scrolling, I'm trying to sift through the ones that are gonna knock me out because I'm sharing a live event on them. So anyways, all right. But there's one specific group, and I like this group because it says post your lives here. So we know that we're good to go, and we'll hopefully get some folks watching from that one. There's also a group, Mon Valley Friends, that hopefully some of the folks from there will join. So again, thank you again for joining. For those who are just joining, tonight is a special live because tonight we're going to be working on 2 tumblers that we are giving back to a family who is in their fight with pancreatic cancer. And every tumbler sold during this fundraising event, a portion of the sales will go back to the fight towards pancreatic cancer for this family. And these 2 special tumblers, I'm going to do a black and white ombre, and we're also going to do a purple and white ombre for pancreatic cancer. And my intent is to walk you through each and every step of the process so that you can see the work that goes into creating these, and really all of the love that I put into making every single tumbler unique and individual just for each customer. So without further ado, I'm gonna start the process here. And again, if you would mind just sharing, and I've got my phone so I can watch comments. I'm happy to walk through any questions and answer any questions that you may have. So we'll get started. So first of all, I use all hog tumblers. These tumblers are really nice because they're all stainless steel, double-walled, insulated tumbler, which means that you are going to get a quality base cup that not only can keep your drink hot or cold, it will keep ice cold for many hours. They're easy to wash on the inside. Once the epoxy's on the outside, you do have to hand wash them, but they're really nice, solid, sturdy tumbler for customers. Every tumbler comes with a lid and a straw. So this lid, you could see, has a pop top, so you could use it if you'd want to just drink out of it, or you can fit the straw into the straw holder as well. So that's why I really like these. They're a really high quality, so that I'm confident that my customers are all getting a quality product. So the first thing that we do when we make these tumblers is all of the stainless steel tumblers, they come with a they'll have like a coating on them, and the next step in the process will be spray painting these. So we have to do a good job of getting that coating off. So I'm just going to start with the sanding block. This is a 220 grit sandpaper, so it's really fine. And we're just going to start sanding that coat off. And you could see just from the little bit of sanding that I did already, the black that's coming off. That's that coating from the stainless steel. So we're just going to go all around and give it a good sanding to get that coating off. You can also see my hand. After I do cup prep night, so I'm usually prepping like 10 or 15 or 20 cups at one time. You can imagine I look like the Tin Man. So for this fundraiser and the cup that I'm sanding right now, this is a 30-ounce tall skinny cup. They also come in different sizes, but specifically for this fundraiser, we're using this cup. And this is like the medium size cup, because I also carry for other projects a 20-ounce and a 40-ounce skinny, and I'm sorry, not a 40, but a 20 and a 35-ounce skinny, which is small, medium, and then larger. And then I also do carry cups in other shapes and sizes as well. All right, so that's a pretty good sanding on that cup. Again, you can see how much coating we got off of that. And then the next step that we're going to do is we're going to clean it off with acetone. And I just use this maximum strength acetone polish remover. Got this at Walmart. And we're going to give it another good wiping down to get the rest of the coating off. So the one good thing too that you guys get to hear is I'm in the driveway, so you may see a couple special guests riding their bike in the driveway or hear them commenting in the background, but that's the fun of Punkinworks and being in the garage and in the driveway. So you could see how much from the rag, how much coating is on those cups. The next thing we would do with this is I would take it in the house and wash it off with some Dawn dish soap and water, just to make sure that this is clean, that it doesn't have any more residue on it, and that it's ready to be painted. So I'm not going to take you in the house and and wash dishes for you tonight. I have in the past, but we're not washing dishes tonight. But now I'm going to take you over to another little station that I set up, and I'll show you how we get that ombre effect. So come on with me, and we'll go do some painting.
Why did you do that?
All right, so don't mind the dead grass. Hopefully the rain will bring it back to life, but right now the weeds are growing quicker than the grass. So I'm going to use my PPE. I've got an N100 chemical filter, or P100, so that it protects against the paint vapors, since I do so much with paint and epoxy. So you may not hear me as well as I scream through the mask. All right, so the first paint that I'm going to do, I'll do the purple and white and the black kind of simultaneously, because you need to let the paints dry a little bit, but you'll kind of get the idea. So I'm using a Rust-Oleum paint, and this is a grape color. And I'm just going to start by spray painting the bottom of the cup and then halfway up, and then we'll come back in with white, and when the colors blend, it'll help us get our ombre with the glitter.
Does the F say
so that's the purple. Now with spray paint, less is best, and it took me a little bit of time to figure out how to get the best effect with spray paint, because if you spray too close, it's going to get runny and you're going to have drips. If you spray too far away, the wind is just going to blow it away. So if you spray it when it's too hot out, it's going to bubble. It's a process. All right, so back to the purple. We'll finish this off with the white. All right, so there you have spray paint. So I'm gonna bring you in kind of a little close here so you can see how that looks. All right, so now I'm gonna take you back into the garage and we'll do some glitter. All right, so again, thanks for joining. Does anybody have any questions while we're setting up the epoxy? All right. All right, so is that frozen? Is that video frozen? Okay, because my phone was frozen. All right, so I have a couple cups that I had already prepped in preparation for this live so that I can show you so you can see what the ombre looks like. Just wiping my hands off to get some of that black off of it from the stainless. All right, so here you can see the black and white ombre. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. The spray paint doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna glitter over top of this. But why the spray paint step is important is because when we add glitter to this, it's gonna help with our blending and that ombre effect that we're looking to get. And it's also gonna help with coverage. So, you know, with glitter, you're putting all these tiny, tiny pieces, but it's possible that you may have a little gap in coverage, and if we didn't paint it, then you would just see the silver of the paint through it. And here's a look at the purple. So you see, like this one, you can even see there's maybe a little bubble or something that was on it, so it definitely isn't perfect, but it's going to be covered with epoxy and glitter, enough to give us a good coverage so that we have a nice, solid base. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to mix up our epoxy. And while I'm doing that, for anybody who's just joined, just a little bit of background about why this live is so special tonight. Oh, what I'm doing is I use these sticks, and this is just the pool noodle wrapped in rags on a stick, and I use this. You'll see how I use it to glitter. And this is just a Dollar Tree football cut in half that I stuffed on a stick to hold, and this will help me with the ombre. But why this live is so important tonight is because there's a very special family that we're helping out. The Anderson family, the dad, his name is Raven, and he is fighting pancreatic cancer. So when I was approached to see if I'd be willing to do a fundraiser, I jumped at the opportunity. I've never done a fundraiser before, so I didn't know what to expect, and I was hoping that I wouldn't be completely overwhelmed, but at the same time I was hoping that I would be overwhelmed so that we had a whole ton of orders. So every order during this fundraiser, which goes through the 31st, every cup that's ordered, and you can see the order link in the invite details, a portion of every tumbler sale will go towards Raven and his fight towards pancreatic cancer and towards their family to help out with the financial needs. So that's why this is so special. To date, we've started the fundraiser about a week ago, and we already have 32 cups sold. So for anybody out there who's already ordered a cup, thank you. And just know that I'm working at my absolute hardest to get those out as quickly as possible. And the same to anybody who will be ordering a cup. I'm getting them out as quickly as I possibly could, being one person and still knowing that during 9 to 5 I'm doing my regular day job. All right, so I'm mixing epoxy. And what epoxy is, for anybody new to Punkinworks, epoxy is a clear resin that dries super hard and super glass-like. It dries crystal clear. It is a very good durable coating for tumblers, and it allows me to, I use it for the glitter, and then we add several layers, which you'll see on top of it, to get that really durable, hard, glass-like finish. So the epoxy that I'm using right now is called Pro Marine, and it's a marine grade epoxy that withstands high heat. And that's important because, of course, if you're going to be outside and in the sun, you want it to be durable and to withstand the heat, but it's also got a UV protectant in it. When you mix epoxy, you mix it at a 50-50 mix. So it comes in two parts. Part A, which is the epoxy itself, and part B, which is the hardener. So I use these syringes. They're just medicine syringes that I bought off of Amazon, but they allow me to get the perfect 50-50 mix. Hi, Ash. Thank you so much for that. I'm so glad that you like the cup that you bought, and I appreciate the shout out. So thank you so much. But yeah, so the cups are really durable. You do need to hand wash them. I would never put epoxy in your dishwasher, just due to the extreme high heats that it's subjected to for that period of time. I would hate to mess up your dishwasher if the epoxy were to melt, but for the most part they're super durable and really fun because I can customize them to whatever you would like. But with the epoxy, you want to make sure that the 50-50 mix is perfect, because if not, then it tends to not want to set or harden. Epoxy is super temperamental, so you have to have the perfect conditions in the atmosphere. If it's too humid out, it tends to want to get a little funny acting. And if it is, I don't know, too cold, I haven't experienced that yet, but I'm sure, because I'm in the garage, if it gets too cold, we'll have to come up with a solution, maybe put a little heater out here or something. But in any case, we'll get it done tonight. And then it's important that you mix it really, really well so that you have an even consistency in the mixture. And what I always do is I scrape the mixing stick, and then I also go around the cup and scrape all of the sides of the cup and the bottom so that it's a nice solid mix. All right, so that looks good. I can tell that it's good too because it's starting to get warm. When epoxy starts to react or starts to you know that it's well blended, it starts to get warm. All right. So for these cups, it's only going to take a very small amount of epoxy to cover these because we're just basically going to use the epoxy as our glue to put the glitter on. And I'll let you in on a little secret as well. These cups are also really special because, you know, I got glitter in preparation for this fundraiser, and you can see black and white. I mean, it's black and white glitter, and it's kind of boring to me, right? So I wanted to make sure that all of our cups are special. So I do a custom mix for every single cup. So what that means is I'm gonna, you could see, this is, hopefully you could see maybe. Every cup is absolutely unique. So if you're ordering a Monessen black and white ombre cup and your friend's ordering a Monessen black and white ombre cup, they're gonna be similar, but they're not gonna be exactly the same because every cup I custom mix the glitter, and you know, with spray paint and the ombre, it's going to be different as well. So they'll be similar, but every handmade item is going to be just a little bit different and unique in its own. And you know, that's one of the reasons why I like making cups, is because you do make it so individualized and unique. So I'm going to add to this so that I have enough enough glitter to do this black cup. And I'm just going to take my plain old black glitter. And I also use specialty glitter. So this is a black holographic glitter, and the holographic glitter will add a little bit of that holographic effect, which is like a rainbow effect to it. So I'm gonna add some of that in there. And then I also have this super special silver holographic glitter, which is literally amazing. And I'm going to put a little bit of that in there so that we don't just have plain black glitter. Now we have something that's super special and amazing, because that's the only kind of glitter that Punkinworks customers get, is something super special and amazing. So now instead of having a plain black glitter, we've got something that is a black holographic. It's got tiny bit of silver in it to make it not so plain, and it's really pretty. So this is a fine glitter mix. When we mix up the white, so I already mixed up the white. I used our plain white glitter. I also used this white glitter that has silver flecks in it, and I added some chunky silver holographic, just a little, and when we put this on this cup, I'll let all of you be the judge on if you like the effects that we get from that. So let me grab a glove, and we're going to kind of do these together at the same time, since I'm going to use that same white on both cups. And we'll start with the black one. So we only need a very small amount to cover this cup. So you could see that what I added on the top there is just a small amount. And then with my gloved hand, I'm gonna take it and smooth it on the entire cup. And I'm gonna have to push it to really spread this out. But what will happen is if I leave the epoxy too thick, then that fine glitter is gonna be streaky and not very attractive. So that's why we smooth it out, and we smooth it out really well. And we use just a teeny tiny bit so that, again, we're just using it as our glue. All right. So while I'm smoothing this, if everybody can just go and hit that little share button in the bottom of their screen, this way we can make sure we have as many folks watching so that we can help this family out. Again, for anybody who's just joined, we're doing this fundraiser for Raven and his family and his fight against pancreatic cancer. And every tumbler sold, a portion of the proceeds will go towards helping this family. So please, please, please share, share, share. Sharing is caring. And we're gonna knock this thing out of the park. Like I said, 32 cups ordered so far, and our goal is to hit at least 50. All right, so there's our black cup. I'm gonna set this off to the side, and then we'll do the purple one. All right, so same thing with the purple one. We're gonna take just a teeny tiny bit, and we're gonna smooth it on. So with the epoxy, I did mix up a little bit more than I needed for these two cups. As you can see, it takes a little tiny bit, and I mixed up 20 milliliters of A and 20 milliliters of B. So once I put this on this cup, I'm gonna skip the glittering step and go to putting the epoxy on a cup that I already have prepared, because that epoxy is gonna set up. And what I mean by that is it's gonna start to get hard and we won't be able to use it anymore. So wasting epoxy is a no-no because it is fairly expensive, and I wanna make sure that I get it used before it starts to get too hard to work with. So I'm gonna set this one. We've got a nice coating. Set purple off to the side. And here's the product that we'll come out with. So if you could see in this cup, this is the same super special mixed holographic black glitter, and that same super special chunky white mix that we did. And once we ombre it, then we let that dry overnight. This morning I came out and spray painted this with a clear gloss spray paint, and what that does is it sets the glitter in place, because now that we're going to smooth epoxy over it, we don't want this glitter to start move and blend into each other. We want it to be nice and clean, so when we put that clear spray paint over it, it sets that glitter in place so that it doesn't have much movement. The machine that I have this on is it's called a cup turner. It's basically like a rotisserie. And for epoxy, when epoxy dries, it's self-leveling. So what the turner does is it allows the cup to continue turning, and it lets the epoxy cure so that it just lost my train of thought, sorry. So the epoxy is going to cure on this while this cup is spinning. We let this spin overnight, and once it sets up, it'll be nice and hard and sturdy. It'll still be a little bit bumpy, which I'll get to that step in a little bit, but the turner is going to allow it to spin overnight and it will let the epoxy self-level so that it gets that nice clear coat that we're looking for. So this coat right after spray painting, this is our first coat of epoxy after glittering. It's called a flood coat. And basically what we're doing is adding this coat to seal everything down and seal it together as far as the glitter goes. There's a lot more steps after this, but this is really the first one in making sure that the glitter is set in place. So once we put the epoxy on the cup, then I'm going to take this heat gun and I'm going to heat this cup up a little bit and get that epoxy moving. What you can't see is in here there's a lot of micro bubbles just from mixing the epoxy. The heat gun is going to make those bubbles come up to the top of the epoxy, and those pop with the heat. The other thing that's important is you got to keep the heat gun moving because epoxy will burn. It can actually catch on fire. I know that there's other cup makers who use a torch to heat up their cups and get the air bubbles out. I'm afraid to do that. Nobody wants me messing with fire in my garage with rubbing alcohol and acetone. Nobody wants that. So I use the heat gun, and close up you'd be able to see all of those little tiny micro bubbles just kind of coming to the surface and popping, especially in like the black section. And since I do have some chunky glitter in this mix, after this dries, I'm going to have to sand it down really well so that we can work closer towards that glass-like finish that we'll be aiming for. All right, so that's the step right there. So now let's get to the fun part with the glitter. So I use wax paper or parchment paper. Buy rolls at the dollar store. Hey Jess, so glad that you are able to join. I couldn't be happier to help out the Anderson family. I know that they give back so much to the community, so it's my honor actually to be able to do something special for them to help out in a time of need. I'll share with you guys too just a little personal story, I guess, if you will. I went to high school with Jessica and we played basketball together, and as you all know, we had the passing not too long ago. If you're local from the valley of Major Corley, well, he was our coach, and I would just always remember Tuffy, as we call him. I think I was the slowest person running. I had to have been the slowest person running. But I know for sure that the Tuffy would always yell at me and Jessica to run fast. I really hated running those lines. But man, good times back in high school, and we certainly had good times on the basketball bus, and just all the shenanigans that the teenage girls do on a on a basketball bus full of kids that were out of control. We weren't out of control, but we had lots of fun. But yeah, I can certainly remember the times where Tuffy was yelling at both me and Jessica to hurry up and run much faster. So a little glitter 101. So the glitter that I'm using right now is a purple pearl glitter. The type of glitter that's pearl, so pearl isn't your super sparkly glitter. Like we've got the black glitter, or even like some of these others, like these are my extra cups, like these are metallic glitters, so you could see the high shine. The purple, if it's a pearl glitter, it has more of a pearl effect than a shine effect. But it looks super pretty on this cup, and it's going to look really pretty blended with that white the white glitter that we mixed up special. So the way that you hold your cup is how the glitter is going to fall. So I'm holding it really flat right now because I want the glitter to, wherever it lands, I want it to stay right there. But as we get around this cup, like right about there, that's where I want to start the ombre effect. So now I'm going to tilt it, right? I'm going to tilt my cup and kind of let the glitter fall a little on its own, like wherever it's kind of going to fall. And you can already start to see that ombre effect taking place. Now, we don't want it to fill in all of the space because once we come in with our white, the white will fill in those areas, and then we'll have our ombre. So I'm going to just shake off any glitter. See, I got the bottom and I got all around the sides. So I'm going to hand this off to my off-camera helper, my husband, who is my tech support, my rock, always stays off camera and gives me that third and fourth hand to help with all of these projects. So now we're going to take that white that we mixed. So again, I used about 3 or 4 different whites in this to get this color. And I'll start with the cup being flat. And now, to get that ombre effect, we're going to start to tilt that cup down a little bit. Let me pick up the glitter. So we're going to tilt the cup. Sorry if I've got elbows in your faces. But when I tilt this, it's going to fill in those spaces between the purple that we left, and that's where that ombre is gonna come in. So give it a shake, and there you have it. So you could see the glitter that we mixed. This has some of the chunky effects in it, so I'm gonna just lay them down, because when we go to put that epoxy on, like that step we just took, the more glitter that's laying flat, the less we'll have to sand. All right, so there's the white one. I mean the black, can't talk, the purple and the white. Finishing this cup, we'll put epoxy on it. We'll sand it down. Actually, we'll in the morning we'll spray paint this because we need to let this dry overnight. We'll spray paint it with clear early in the morning so that tomorrow night I can come back and put that flood coat on it. The day after tomorrow, then I'll come back, sand it down, and then apply another coat of epoxy, and then the day after that it will have the Purple Hope ribbon decal on it, and then we'll put probably 2 more coats of epoxy on it after that to get to a finished product. Sanding when we need to, because again, using chunky glitter is gonna, we'll need to sand it down so we can get that perfectly smooth finish, making sure that the edges are all smooth. But that's what this one will end up being. It will have that Purple Hope ribbon. And again, probably between now and then, adding about 5 more coats of epoxy. All right, so I'm going to set this one down, and we're going to go to the black one. Actually, let me clean up this white first. All right, so with this white, some purple did get into it, so I know I don't want white and purple with the black, so we'll mix up another special white for the black and white cup. So let's do that now. All right, so let's start with our basic white. So So this is really like a basic, almost like a white sandy glitter, and it's a good base glitter, right? Because it helps fill the gaps. But to really make this cup jump and pop, we're gonna snazz it up with some specialty glitters. This is that white with tiny silver. I've got some silver that I used on another cup, so I'm just going to use that. This is like a chunky mix here. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. This one even has a couple little teeny tiny holographic stars in it from the other cup that I did a silver mix on. So whoever gets this black and white cup might have some special little tiny star surprises in it. Again, no cup is the same, and that's what makes Punkinworks special, because every cup that's ordered will be unique for that customer. All right, let's start with the black. Same black, I mixed up enough for earlier when we mixed this up. And you start with the bottom. And then holding the cup fairly flat, so as you can see, I use the parchment paper to catch the glitter that falls off. This way I can put it back in the cup and reapply it to the rest of the cup. All right. All right, so again, we're going to use that tilt for the ombre, letting the black glitter kind of fall where it may. And then let's give it a good shake to get any excess off. Can you see the sparkle? Like, I feel like it's almost like diamonds that are crushed up in that black glitter. It's so pretty. Hand that off to my main man off camera. And for the white, I'm going to grab another clean sheet. And the reveal for the new white that we mixed up. Dun dun dun! I swear my kid's been watching too much YouTube, and I'm starting to sound like them. Dun dun dun! So pretty. I can see some of those tiny stars popping out. And we'll do a side-by-side comparison. How about that with the whites, so you could see the difference in the mixes. You can kind of see here on the paper all of the different colors that are in there. You see some of those silver holographic flecks, those pieces that we stuck in there, just to make it so that it's not basic white. Again, my elbow in your eyes. I'm getting the wrong angle. My apologies. So sorry. But there you have that ombre. Hope you can see that. So let me clean this up and we'll do a side by side with the purple one. So you can see the difference in the two special glitters that we made, the whites. So with the purple one, that special mix looks like I probably added maybe a little bit more silver than I did to this one. But the black one also has a couple little teeny tiny stars that are floating around in there. Both equally as pretty, but very unique and different, specific to each of those cups. All right. So these cups will dry overnight. That epoxy needs to dry and set really well. And then in the morning I'll come back and spray paint them to set the glitter in place. And then once the glitter is set and the spray paint is dry, not until evening because I'll work, so tomorrow night after 5 I'll come back out, do some glitter. I'll be able to put that flood coat of epoxy on those cups for the flood coat, and then we'll be able to continue the process on from there. So we've got the flood coat on this one. Once this dries, I'm going to take a sander, not just any sander. If you've seen any of my lives before, I take an actual rotational sander and sand the crap out of it, just to make sure that it's nice and smooth, and then another layer of epoxy. That's going to be important because now I'm going to show you a step that I've never shown on a live ever before. That's why this is, again, so special. Decal day, guys. So decal day, I joke with my husband and say, like, decals are going to be like the bane of my existence because I'm too much of a perfectionist, and I need to make sure that every decal is perfect. So I end up probably reprinting them more than I should, but I forgot my weeding tool, but it's okay because I have this little handy dandy thing. Let me grab another piece of paper. All right, so on this orange, I printed one of the orders for this fundraiser. They just wanted a solid black painted tumbler with the Denora Dragon's D. So I couldn't find the actual dragon, but this is an Old English style D in the orange Denora color. So I have a Cricut machine, and the machine will actually cut whatever image, and it's a lot more involved than that. It requires me yelling and screaming and cussing at the machine, and then cussing when I put the decal on. But I promise I'm going to keep this a G-rated show tonight. But once you cut it out, then you're left with the vinyl to put on the cup. So I'm using this little pointed tool to weed out any of the pieces that we don't want to keep. So here's our D, and on the back of this it's sticky, so it's sticky permanent vinyl, and I'm going to just use transfer tape, which I've already cut in advance, and transfer tape is just going to allow us to pick up this image, and smooth it down, pick up the D off of the backing, and then hopefully I don't embarrass myself, because hopefully I can get it perfect on the first try. So what I typically try to do is just align myself perfectly over top, and like I got it stuck just a little bit. Does it look even to all of you? I think it's gonna be good. and then you smooth it out. You smooth from the inside or from the center, and you go out. And we're trying to make sure that there isn't any air bubbles left underneath, because then you'll see that in your epoxy. But when you pull the transfer tape off, then you are left with this really cool Denora Dragons cup. So this cup went through sanding, acetone wash, wipe it off with, wash it off with Dawn dish detergent, spray painted black. Now we have the vinyl decal. To finish this cup, I'm going to add probably at least 3 coats of epoxy to make it super strong and super durable. Each coat, again, dries overnight, so this cup will be finished probably in about 3 days. So there you go, the Denora Dragons cup with the Old English D. I'll show you guys the Monessen decal that's going on these cups as well. So we had another order for the fundraiser. Let's see, I'm going to shout out Nick. Nick, if you're on and watching, thank you for your order. This cup is going to be for you. So on my machine, I printed the Monessen Greyhound logos. And with my Cricut, you do a print and cut feature. So I print it on my printer, and then I cut it with my machine. So it leaves me with the outline of the decal. So again, trying to perfectly align. And I always try to look for, like, is there a spot on the cup that maybe I don't like? Because I'll cover it up with the decal. Like, there's like maybe a little scratch right there, so we'll cover it up. So we'll put it like right there. Smooth from the inside out to make sure we don't have any air bubbles. And then once we put epoxy on this black is going to actually get super deep. So right now it kind of looks printed, but it will, the epoxy will set it and make it look really vibrant and vinyl-ish, if you will. This is vinyl, it's actually just printable vinyl to get the decal on there. And then Nick asked for his name to be put on the back. So I line up the cup, just kind of eye it to see where the center is. And then I'll take the name that I already cut out. And we'll pull the backing off. So we've got his name there. Grab our handy dandy transfer tape. Smooth it out. Coaxing the vinyl to stick to it. Because it doesn't always want to play nice. And then lining it up perfectly in the center. I'm going to do this name horizontally. So kind of like tack it down, give it a good look, see where it is. And then starting from the center, working out, smoothing that vinyl down to grab any air bubbles, pull them out, remove our transfer tape, and dun dun dun! So now we've got our name on the back. Again, this will get at least 3 coats of epoxy, and it'll be ready to be sent out to Nick. Nick, thanks again for contributing to the fundraiser. I hope you like your cup, your finished product, and it'll be ready to go out in 3 to 4 days to you. So that's kind of the end-to-end process with making these cups. as you can tell, it takes quite some time to get them from start to finish, because we need to allow that epoxy overnight to dry. And even with a cup that doesn't have glitter, it takes at least 4 days for these to go from start to finish. Longer with the glitter cups because you've got more layers of epoxy and more drying time involved in it. So I hope you all enjoyed watching the process of making these cups. Just again, if you would be so kind to participate in the fundraiser, if you look at the meeting invite for this live, there's an order form there. We're offering the black and white ombre, the purple and white ombre, solid black cup, and you can add your name for an extra $5. Each of the cups is $30, and a portion of each cup does go to the family. We're running this through the 31st, and if you'd like to order, you could either message myself, you can message me directly, or you can message me through Punkinworks. Just let me know that it's in response to Raven's fundraiser, or you can message Jessica Schrader. She's also taking orders, and then between Jessica and I and my son will be delivering cups as soon as I can get them done. Again, we've got 32 cups ordered so far. We're shooting for a goal of 50 or more, so love for anybody else who is interested, who'd like a gorgeous cup, to go ahead and grab one so that we could continue to help out the family. If there's something else individual that you'd like I did the Denora Dragons cup, message me and I'll try to accommodate. But again, make sure that you let us know that it's for Raven's fundraiser, so that we capture all of those orders under the fundraiser totals. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, reach out to Jessica Schrader, and we're happy to share. If you haven't yet liked and followed Punkinworks, if you can give me a like and a follow, that would be hugely appreciated, because I'm trying to also grow my little business, you know, outside of the fundraiser. So give me a like and a follow, that would be appreciated. We do these lives every Tuesday here in my garage, so I hope you'll tune in next week, and we'll see you soon. Later, Gators!